What we have here is the all-new 2020 Mercedes-Benz GLB class. It proves itself worthy. In fact, I actually think it's one of the best SUVs I've driven. During this review, I'm going to try and prove to you why. Let's get through some of the specifics first. Under the hood, we have a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that puts out 221 horsepower. That's mated to an 8-speed automated dual-clutch transmission, and it comes standard with front-wheel drive. Prices start right around $38,000. For another $2,000 though, you can get Mercedes 4MATIC all-wheel drive. This, as with a lot of our test vehicles, is almost fully loaded with a price tag of around $57,000. But a lot of these options aren't really necessary and don't add too much to why I like the GLB so much. Before we hit the road, let's talk about style real quick with this GLB. First off, I like it. I like it because it's a throwback to boxy and utilitarian SUVs. Nowadays, they're getting really swoopy and sculpted with coupe-like rooflines, and this is boxy, a traditional 2-box design. And it pays huge dividends when it comes to interior space. We'll get to all of that later. So, how about we go for a spin? I'm on one of my favorite roads in Southern California, this wonderful, sinuous, twisting road through a canyon pass. That gives me a good indication of how well a car handles. Mercedes-Benz estimates that the GLB 250 will reach 60 miles an hour in 6.9 seconds. You're not going to win any races there, and honestly, it's not an impressive performer, but what is impressive is how easy it is to drive. I'm just in regular Kia Sport mode here, and there's a little bit of body roll, but it's very well managed. The ride quality is excellent, and even over the mid-corner bumps, it's very composed. If you really want more performance, I'm going to say it's a really good bet that they'll have some mid-tier AMG variants, like the AMG 35 or 45. I spent a lot of time with this GLB in Arizona on a first drive, and really, the only time I wanted more power was when I was passing a long train of slightly slower cars going up a very steep grade. And even then, with my foot to the floor, the car didn't feel like it was laboring that much. It didn't sound like I was blending margaritas. And it did it with plenty of space to spare. The GLB, it takes corners confidently. It takes it smoothly. And really, I don't really see a need for the sport mode here. Let's just go back to comfort. There it is. See, that's so much nicer. It's smoother, it's quieter. It's what you want from a Mercedes-Benz, even one costing $38,000. The brakes feel good going into turns, easy to modulate, and it's the right amount of effort, at least for me. It's not too soft, it's not sports car stiff either. Coming down into a steep right turn here, easy on the brakes, ease off of them. It's just easy to drive. A lot of shoppers will gravitate towards SUVs because of their great outward visibility, and the GLB delivers. The upright and tall windows give you a commanding view, and the narrow front roof pillars won't block your view through turns. The rear roof pillars are much thicker, but the view out back is still better than most other SUVs. Besides, if you're backing into a spot, the surround view camera takes any guesswork out. It's so easy squeezing this into my tiny, tiny little carport in my apartment. Actually, it's one of the easiest outside of a Miata. This just has what I think is an optimal blend of comfort and handling prowess. All right, now that we're out of the canyons and onto the flatlands, let's talk about highway and city driving. I spent almost 8 hours straight in the seat driving from Phoenix to LA because I didn't feel the need to stop. I was that comfortable. It's not just ride quality, but also the seats. They're well shaped with the right amount of cushioning. After 8 hours, I think it really did make a big difference on that drive. Another thing helping to combat fatigue is this is quiet. There's not a lot of road noise. There's almost no wind noise. And that's impressive considering how kind of squared up this shape is. There's no whistling coming from the mirrors here or the grille or anywhere else. Another reason why I was able to drive for that long was the adaptive cruise control that Mercedes put in the GLB. It's really good. It's driving pretty much like how I drive. I'm not waiting till the last second to jam on the brakes, and I'm not flooring the pedal when traffic clears up in front of me. It's maintaining a really good gap to the car in front, and it's just kind of easing off the throttle, then gently applying the brakes to come to a stop. And it is full range speed control all the way down to a stop. And when traffic picks up, you don't have to hit the resume button. It just does it on its own. I've said this before in other reviews. When I'm nitpicking a car, that means I really like it, and I'm really digging for something to criticize. Since this GLB is based on our top-rated A-Class, it benefits from all of that goodness. First off, we have the award-winning MBUX Infotainment System, which gives you a multitude of ways to control it, from these little handy tabs here on the steering wheel, to a trace pad here, to a touch screen, as well as some of the best voice controls in the industry. Materials quality is excellent, especially when you consider the price. Every elbow touch point and anywhere you really come in contact normally is well padded and has premium materials. I realize that cup holders may not be that big a deal to a lot of people, but I think these cup holders in the GLB are good enough to call out, because they'll hold a regular sized drink, but they'll also securely keep a smaller can like a Red Bull because of these little flip out tabs. Pretty smart. Other storage is really good too. There's some big deep pockets in the doors. You have a wireless charging pad option. This center bin is pretty well sized. Overall, you have plenty of places to put your personal effects. I also like these round turbine air vents that change color, and actually at night, this thing looks really cool. You have the option of the ambient lighting to shift colors regularly, and it kind of just gives you that premium futuristic feel that you want from a Mercedes-Benz. Overall, it's one of the better executed cockpits I've been in a while. But let's check out the back seats. This seat here is set for me, and I'm 5'10". My head, it's not even close to touching the headliner. These seats also slide and recline 6 inches forward if you need a little more flexibility between passengers and cargo. And still, look, my knees are just barely touching it. They also recline a little bit here, so that's a little uncomfortable and upright, but when you have it full recline, it's really quite nice. Materials quality is also excellent back here. They didn't skimp and put harder plastics for more durability. Down here, 2 USB-C ports, as well as a household power outlet. There's also a third row option that fits behind these seats, but considering how much space there is back there, it's best suited for small kids on your morning carpool. But it's really handy that they even offer that option. If the GLB wasn't impressive enough, there's also cargo space. And there's a lot of it behind that second row of seats. This boxy shape means you can squeeze much bulkier items than you could with a regular SUV with kind of a sporty tapered tail line. If you don't opt for the third row of seats, this floor drops down for even more space. Pretty impressive. Another thing that I really like is this low liftover height. If you're carrying something really big, bulky, and heavy, you don't have to huck it over some big ledge or anything. I do have one nitpick when it comes to cargo capacity though, and that is the absence of remote releases for those rear seat backs. There's no latches here, there's no little tabs to pull here. Instead, you have to go all the way around and pull on some nylon tabs here to fold them flat. Not the end of the world, especially when you consider that with the second row folded flat, you have 62 cubic feet of cargo capacity. That's actually more than the GLC. As the sun goes down, I am left as surprised as I am impressed by the GLB 250. This is my pick in a number of segments. I like it better than the BMW X1, as well as one of my favorites, the Volvo XC40. In fact, I'd take it over the GLC, which is larger and more expensive. It's packaged smartly. It has the right amount of power. It drives great. There's a ton of space for passengers and cargo. There's a ton of tech. I mean, the accolades just keep piling on to the point where I'm saying, this is the next class leader. For more information on the GLB as well as its competition, head on over to Edmunds.com. To see more reviews like this, hit subscribe.